Hello and welcome to this video, guys. In this video, I'm going to be showing you a bunch of the images that I took during my 8 days in London using the Mamiya 7. If you notice, I don't have a Mamiya 7 in my hands, and that's because I actually sold the camera. I'll be making a dedicated video in the future about why I sold it, but in this video, I want to talk about the images that I took using that camera. I shot a total of 17 rolls of film, 14 on 120, 3 rolls on 35, and of those 14 rolls, 12 of them were on Porsche 400 and 2 of them were on Fujifilm Pro and 60 NS that expired in 2006. My aunt has done such an amazing job at curating the things that she places in her house that it almost makes it difficult to take a bad picture in her home. The majority of these photos were shot either earlier in the day or later on in the evening to get more interesting light to fall on the subjects. Hey, a quick interruption from the video. I wanted to announce that on November 1st, I will be releasing prints for the first time ever. A few of the images shown in this video, as well as some in the future videos to come, will be available for purchase. If you sign up with your email, I will personally send you the password to preview the prints before they go live, a 20% off discount code, and the chance to win a free print when everything does go live. Again, that date is November 1st, and thank you guys. So now I want to briefly talk about my favorite image of this little section of the video, and I'm looking at it right now, that's why I'm not looking at the camera, but it was taken in the observatory of her home. It's the very top floor, and it's almost like a greenhouse type structure, I guess, and it's kind of hard for me to articulate what it is exactly that I love so much about this image, but to me, I guess it's just the colors and like the kind of like the juxtaposition between the left side and the right side of the frame. You know, this like large white kind of line that goes in between and separates the sections is part of the window. It opens inside into the observatory. And yeah, you just get these like soft, beautiful, warm colors indoors. And then past that white line, you know, on the left side of the frame, you have all these really beautiful, you know, deep greens and these really dark blues. And it's really beautiful to see. And for that reason, it is for sure one of my favorite images of the entire trip, and probably one of my favorite images that I've ever taken. And the little furry animal thing in the bottom right of the frame is a taxidermy fox, and my aunt named her Camille, I guess. From the images that you've seen of her house, you probably notice that she does have a lot of taxidermy, and so this is just one of them. They all have names. I honestly couldn't tell you what their names are. I just remember Camille, the stuffed fox. To put it lightly, I think the results from this film are terrible. And I know that sounds harsh, but I think the film looks awful. I'm gonna be honest. So it's like the colors are crazy. The light leaks are insane. You know, I didn't have high expectations for the film going into shooting it. And, you know, the biggest thing for me was just experimenting with it and just seeing what it would look like. And these are the results that I got. So I'm not mad that I shot it, and I'm happy I shot it. And, you know, shooting expired film is always a gamble. So it happens. It expired in 2006, so 17 years ago. I exposed the film at ISO 50, so I did overexpose it by 1 2/3 of a stop, and it looks like I could have given it even more light. So the last, I don't know, 3 to 5-ish images aren't that bad because it's very obvious that they were given even more light. The last few were long exposures, and they were anywhere in between 10 to 30 seconds, and you know, they do look a lot better, and for some reason, the last few images don't have as severe light leaks as the beginning, pretty much the majority of the images, and so the film performed honestly really well when it was given a crap ton of light, you know, given the really, really long exposures. So, you know, I think if I were to go back in time and reshoot this film, I probably would have just brought a tripod with me everywhere, and instead of overexposing the film by, you know, 1 2/3 of a stop, I probably would have overexposed it by like 3 or 4 stops, because it seems like giving it a crap ton of light gave me the best results. So this section of the video is comprised of probably the majority of the images that I shot on the trip. The Mamiya 7 did a fantastic job on this trip. It's so portable and so lightweight, especially when you compare it to my other camera, which shoots the same size negatives as the Mamiya 7, but weighs many, many pounds more and is significantly larger than the Mamiya 7 itself. But some of the things that I loved so much about the Mamiya 7 was that portability and how light it was, because I just had it slung on my shoulder pretty much the entire trip. The meter is super, super accurate, and it's almost like a spot meter, so I was able to just put it around different parts of the scene, and that could inform me how I'd want to meter the scene. And the great thing is all of the lenses have leaf shutters. And the reason why that's so great is because it allowed me to handhold so many slow shutter speeds that I wouldn't even dream about shooting with this camera. I felt very comfortable shooting at 1/30th of a second. There were a handful of images that I shot at 1/15th of a second, and there were even a few that I shot at 1/8th of a second, as long as I was up, I could lean up against a wall or something for some support. I shot a lot of images while I was gone, but at the same time, I was really picky with what I was shooting because, every single time you fire off a frame of 120, that's just a couple dollars down the drain because film is so expensive and developing it is so expensive. I do scan all of my film at home, so that does save me a little bit of money, but it's still something that I keep in the back of my mind anytime I'm shooting film. And so for that reason, on this trip, I was pretty picky about what I was photographing. And that was kind of a good thing and kind of a bad thing. There were many, many times where I would see something that I thought was cool, frame it up in the viewfinder, and just ultimately decide to not take the picture. But, if I had a digital camera, I wouldn't think twice about not taking a picture. If I saw something that piqued my interest, I would just take it. And, I think images like that sometimes are total crap and you never like them. But, I can think back at a couple times where I haven't thought an image was good until I revisited it sometime in the future, and it turned out to be one of my favorite images that I shot. So I guess that's like sort of a con to shooting film like this, is because since I'm so conscious about what it is that I'm shooting, I might have missed out on a handful of frames that I could have really, really liked. With that being said, though, I am very happy with pretty much all the images that I took. I really only went out one time at night to, take photos, and, they're fine, I guess. There's some that I like, and there's some that I also don't like. However, there are two images in particular that I really do like, and I'm going to click on those right now. This one is really cool. I wish I had a video of, the scene around it, but there was this business that had like probably hundreds of red lights that were just illuminating this side of the building. You can kind of see it in the reflection. Just a bunch of the light bulbs. I like how you have the color contrast where it's like really, really red in the top right and slowly fading down into the middle of the frame, whereas kind of like the bottom left and the bottom of the frame, if that makes any sense, is pretty like blue. It's like pretty cyan, and so it's kind of cool to have those two elements of the frame kind of meet in the middle, where you have really red and really cyan coming together. I don't really love the other ones that much, and I'm not trying to sound hard on myself or say that they're bad images. It's just I think they're not as visually interesting as some of the other images that I took on this trip. Overall, I'm really proud of the images that I took. Portra 400 did its thing like it always does. The Mamiya 7 was an absolute joy to use. I'm kind of sad that I sold the camera, but at the same time, it's whatever, it's just a camera to me. I don't really get sentimental about too many things, camera related, unless it was like a gift to me, and the Mamiya 7 was not a gift to me. So getting rid of it, yeah, it does suck, but I kind of view it as a necessary evil, I suppose, in order to move in the direction that I want to move in. So, and the other thing that I tell myself is it's just a camera, and if I really do miss it, I can always get another one sometime in the future. Okay, another thing that I wrote in here was the Pro and 60 NS was bad. It sounds harsh. It wasn't really bad. I think there were some decent images that I shot on the Pro and 60 NS. While I did show most of the images that I shot with the Mamiya 7 on this trip, I didn't show all of them. I have a bunch of images from a place called the Goodwood Revival, and it's essentially a vintage/classic car show that has cars from the 40s through the 60s, and I want to make a dedicated video about all the images that I shot there using the Mamiya 7, as well as this guy right here, the Nikon F3. I shot a bunch of images, obviously, of the classic cars, and I kind of had my first try at like street photography using the Nikon F3, and I really like those images that I shot there, so I'm really excited to show those. That video should be coming out in the next few weeks, so if you are interested in that, please consider subscribing to the channel so you'll be the first to know when that video comes out. And on that note, I'm going to end the video. If you guys like this one, please consider leaving a like or subscribing to the channel, or both. It really does help me out. I think that's where I'm going to end the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it if you've made it this far, and have a good one. Peace.